y'all, Chef Chris here, the culinary herbalist and transitional food chef and coach. I'm doing this video to let you know who I am. If you're following me, thank you so much. I have new followers, and then I switched over to Facebook platform, so a reintroduction was perfect at this time. I am Chef Chris. I've been in the culinary industry for about 12 years. I've always dabbled in different things. My first love has been pastries, and yeah, I just started off with pastries and then just dabbled to any and everything that was food in general. That is just my first love. As far as holistics, I started in holistics about 10 years ago. I didn't know what was holistics. I didn't even know that was like a term or like a whole study or practice. I didn't know. I just was drawn towards certain things, certain teachings, certain teachers, certain practices, books, you name it. I felt like I just was really drawn towards those different things, and I just dabbled in it a little bit. I call my life just a jigsaw puzzle as I began to place different things, and at that time it was just slow, slow pace and slow grooving. 5 years into that, then I really started, okay, this feels right to me, and started making the changes that I needed to implement. I started off with sweet and savory treats. It was S&S treats, and at that time it wasn't holistics. It was me pairing sweet and savory treats and turning them into cookies or pies or cakes. Did all the kind of works, and it just didn't feel fulfilling to me. And then different other life challenges that I was going through, and I was able just set that and put that down. And with the holistic practices, I began to really start to piece together what was what for me, what felt right for me. And during that time, I birthed a new beginning for myself, and it has just been beautiful ever since. I started, if you know me, you probably found me from Moonlight Treats, which I still currently have. And Moonlight Treats was the base of that was really having my second child. And the first child had a lot of complications, preterm labor, you name it. And the second one, I was like, I don't want this. I had already started my holistic journey and was like, look, these are the things that I want. Bam, 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 bam. Can you do this for me, doctor? And the doctor was like, no. So I was like, all right, let me find a doula. Let me go that route, because I knew I wanted a water birth. I knew certain things that I wanted, and I was like, I'm gonna have it, and the hospital is just not the correct way to go. Y'all told me no, and I already knew I shouldn't have went here, but I was still just trying to see if I could do it. So that that was a no-go for me. So in the midst of me having this whole okay, I'm gonna have a water birth, I'm gonna have a natural birthing process, I need to really tune into holistic lifestyle, because I have to change everything, my mind, my body, to make sure that I can have this healthy baby and make sure I can be the healthiest. And that's really where everything just really started, domino effect for me. And I changed how I was eating. I started really toning in, zooming into my mindset, and preparing myself for this child I was getting ready to have. And like I said, I ended up having a water birth, and that was the best experience ever. It was the best, and then it was very challenging, because as you know, like I said, I was in food, and then dessert. So I was like, how in the heck do I still be a chef, be a lover of, at that time it was desserts, and implement this holistic lifestyle? It has to mingle. There were some days where I would tell people I was a sweet junkie. Other days I was just by the books, and it just kind of was chaotic to me, and it was chaotic. So I end up finding ways how to transition, right? That's how everything works for me. How to transition, how to blend, how some days I can mix and mingle. And I found that the method was intuitive eating, and it just went from there. So once I found that, it ended up working for me. The birthing process, the foods that I was feeding my child, and by that time I was making all my foods for her. The nursing, all of that, still went with intuitive eating techniques. And so I was able to birth Moonlight Treats, which some of you guys know me from. And with Moonlight Treats, that is basically helping and transitioning people to holistics by way of desserts. So I play with the different desserts, giving them, let's say if you don't want regular sugar, we're going to use date sugar to try to see, so you can see it's not that bad, and so you can play with it and figure out what works for you. And that's how that whole cycle worked. And I have always been into herbs. Again, I use different type of herbal practices to help me through my pregnancy, and even before the pregnancy, when I really dove into holistics and holistic lifestyle, they were pretty much open my eyes to so many different things that I was missing and that my community was missing, that we don't talk about anymore. Our ancestors, this is stuff that they knew of, but throughout the bloodline, we have lost a lot of culture. We have lost a lot of tradition. And when I found this whole new arena, it just lit me up. And so now, if you, like I said, if you saw me from Moonlight Treats, then around October, I went through a whole nother transitional period, and I talked about that on my post, where I found myself being burnt out energetically as an empath, and I had to really realize where that energy was going and what was I not properly doing for myself. And I realized that teaching at that time, I couldn't put a word to it, but it was just something I felt, that when I was out there, I was always teaching. I wasn't so much selling the desserts, it was more lessons. Anybody that come up, I spent the time and we would just talk about your life, talk about what you're doing right now, where you at mentally, where you at on your, I hate to say diet, but where you at on your lifestyle. And that is what I love to do, just going out and mingling and talking with people. So January and February came before the COVID hit. I really dove into the herbs within my own household, making sure that it was planted. And that was like January, making sure everything was planted, making sure everything was sustainable for my family and for myself. And COVID came, boom, and then COVID. I think that should be a whole new hashtag, and then COVID. So when COVID came, that was heaven sent, y'all. That was just the ancestors and the universe and God just sending that to me, and I'm very grateful for it. It gave me the opportunity to really look at different things and really realize that teaching is where I needed to be, teaching and helping our women to live a holistic lifestyle, to be able to help ourselves and figure out what we are missing as women, as mothers, so we can help and nourish our family. Okay, if our cup is not full, then we can't pour back into anyone else. And so that has been my mission. That is my mission. That was my mission with Moonlight Treats. It's just defined this way so that I can teach. And I love every aspect of it. I am loving every aspect of it, and I just thank you for being a part of this journey, and I look forward to sharing more knowledge, sharing more information with you guys. And yeah, so that is me. If you have any questions, if you have anything, period, questions or comments, reach out to me. You can find me on my website, and that's www.chefchris.com. I am on Instagram, I am on Facebook, I just now put up YouTube, so and I'm on LinkedIn. Yeah, so you can find me on all social media platforms. You can find me on my website. Again, that's www.chefchrishimes.com. Reach out to me, let me know if there's any questions or anything that you have. Love and light, y'all.